It had all started small. He had always been careful. But stolen glances during training, the brush of cool fingers against yours when no one was looking, late night study sessions in the dorms that turned into quiet conversations about everything and nothing all at once. Deku never really suspected anything. Shoto never pushed. He never questioned why you wanted to keep it hidden. If that's what makes you comfortable, he'd say, voice steady and soft, mismatched eyes watching you like you were the only thing in the room worth seeing. Then we'll keep it that way, he'd say, looking at you. You were Deku's little sister, or twin, depending on the day you felt like teasing Izuku about it. Class 1A, just like him, quirk strong enough to hold your own, but not some flashy thing enough to steal the spotlight from your little brother. Well, big brother. He acted like the little one, though. The last thing you wanted was people to think you were riding his coattails, or worse, that Shoto was only interested because some weird rivalry between Izuku. So secret it stayed. Until it didn't. It was one quiet Saturday afternoon. Most of the class was out. Bakugo at the gym, Uraka and Ida running errands, the usual chaos scattered. You told Izuku you were heading up to the library to catch up on notes. Shoto had forgotten something in the common room and needed to grab it. Classic excuses. You meet in the empty hallway near the stairwell, the one place cameras didn't quite reach. Shoto tugged you gently behind the corner. His left hand was warm against your waist and right hand was cool against your cheek. You've been tense all week, he murmured, forehead resting lightly against yours. Training, or, he asked questioningly, letting the question answer itself. Both, you admitted, voice barely above a whisper. Izuku keeps asking why I'm smiling so much at my phone. I think he's a little suspicious. Shoto's lips quirked into the tiniest smile. He hasn't said anything to me about it. You scoff. That's because he'd rather combust from embarrassment first. You leaned up and kissed him soft and quick, the way you always did when you felt like time was stolen. His hand slid to the small of your back, pulling you closer for a moment. Everything was perfect and quiet, the warm secret. Then, huh? Wait, YN? The voice cracked like lightning. You froze. Shoto went still, but he didn't go immediately. Instead, he slowly turned his head. Izuku stood at the end of the hallway, grocery bag dangling forgotten from one hand, green eyes wide and open, pupils pinprick tiny, a half-eaten apple in his other hand. Juice was dripping on the forgotten floor. Silence. Thick, suffocating silence. Izuku's mouth opened, and then closed, then opened once more. Todoroki? Shoto glanced at him for a second before looking back at you. He exhaled through his nose, calm as ever, though you could feel the tight tension in his grip. Midoriya. Izuku's gaze danced between the two of you, your flushed face, Shoto's hand still on your waist, and the way you were pressed close enough that there was no mistaking what was going on. You're... Izuku's voice rose to an octave. With my sister? He asked. You stepped forward quickly, hands up. Izuku, it's not... Well, okay, it is, but listen. Izuku's cheeks were scarlet. Since when? The notebook already half pulled from his back, like he was ready to start ferociously analyzing this development. How long? Why didn't you tell me? Are you okay? Did he pressure you? Shoto finally spoke, voice even. I would never. Izuku blinked. I know that. It's my sister with Todoroki. You groaned, burying your face in your hands. This is why I wanted to wait. Shoto glanced down at you, then back at Izuku, and something softened in his expression. She asked me to keep it private, and I agreed because, well, it makes her happy. Izuku started, then stared harder. Then, slowly, his shoulders dropped. Oh, you're really serious. It wasn't a question. Shoto didn't even hesitate. Yes, he answered back. Izuku rubbed the back of his neck, muttering something under his breath about responsibility and protecting my family, and something that sounded suspiciously like all man would say, be supportive. Finally, he looked up. Okay, yes, but if you hurt her, I will be one for all, 100% in your face, even if we're friends. Shoto nodded. Understood. You peeked out through your fingers. Oh, you're not freaking out? You asked questioningly. I am freaking out, Izuku said weakly. Internally, very internally, but you look happy, and Todoroki-kun looks calm and happier than usual, actually. He paused and gave a shaky smile. Just maybe warn a guy next time before I walk in on my little sister making out with a half and half. You laughed despite yourself. Shoto allowed the faintest hint of pink to touch his cheeks. Noted, he said quietly. Izuku sighed, long and dramatic. I'm going to pretend I didn't see anything and go put these groceries away. You two behave and maybe tell me properly later, like over dinner with Mom. You winced. God, Izuku, one crisis at a time. Izuku shuffled away, muttering to himself about protecting sisters and Todoroki's fire being suspiciously warm-looking. Shoto turned back to you. He brushed a strand of hair from your face. Do you still want it to be a secret? You looked up at him. Maybe not as secret. His small smile returned. Good. Then he kissed you again, slower this time. No rush, no hiding. Because some secrets were only meant to last until they didn't have to anymore.